Good evening. Welcome to Ultra Medway Solutions Limited. We are always an exceptional hub for quality products. We take this opportunity to just enlighten ourselves about oxygen therapy. Maybe when do you need to have oxygen supply to a person? It's especially when you've got breathing difficulties. Now, in our case, we have 3 ways. You might get oxygen therapy either from an oxygen cylinder, from an oxygen concentrator, or at one time through a CPAP machine. Now, it have come to our attention that maybe most of the patients, while they are in a hospital, at times they are stuck to where maybe can they get an oxygen cylinder, where can they get an oxygen concentrator, or maybe a CPAP machine. We appreciate caregivers who have referred us a number of clients, and over the 2 years that we've been in existence, it have increased our need to just let more people understand and know what it takes when maybe a doctor recommends that a patient get an oxygen concentrator or maybe get oxygen through a cylinder. Also again, in this medical supplies field, we can't say that we are the only one who exists, but we've got those who we can call our competitors. And maybe whatever we provide from our side, you might find you can get the same from other suppliers, but maybe because of misinformation, you might find yourself that at one point, maybe you are buying items at an exorbitant price. And because we are looking at helping our society positively, we are there to give you the right information that you need whenever it comes to the purchase of either an oxygen concentrator or maybe an oxygen cylinder. Now, let's start with oxygen cylinders. When you are transporting your patient, either through an ambulance or maybe through your personal car, maybe from home to hospital or hospital to home, you need such a size of an oxygen cylinder. In terms of capacity, we usually say it is a 1.36 cubic meters. Now, when you are purchasing an oxygen cylinder, 2 things you have to consider is that oxygen is contained in this canister, and you need to get that oxygen to get delivered to a patient. At that point, you need what we call an oxygen set or an oxygen regulator. At that point, we have a variety of oxygen regulators depending on quality. This is the most common type that you find with many suppliers. But in terms of quality, we can say it is a low grade type of an oxygen regulator. Then there comes another one, which we can say it is second in terms of quality. And then we have this one, which is the most superior when it comes to home care oxygen delivery. Depending on quality, they have different price ranges. So whenever you are buying an oxygen regulator, maybe when you are given a price, just take a step of just asking, do you have another type of an oxygen regulator? You can just inquire from your supplier, would you mind to share with us? an image of the oxygen regulator that you have, so that when you're buying, you'll ensure that you buy something that is according to the quality or the price that you are given. Now, for you to have the oxygen regulator mounted on the cylinder, there is always an oxygen valve that is on the cylinder. How we go about it, we have a safety seal that is placed on the valve. You remove the seal, then you take your regulator and then you mount it on the cylinder. Then you ensure that this is well secured. By doing this regulator should be mounted on the valve with a free hand until you find that you need a spanner to tighten it. Now, for you to access the gas from the cylinder to the regulator, we use what we call an oxygen cylinder key that is mounted over here, and then you open the gas from the cylinder into the regulator. Now, something is standard is that on the regulator there is what we call a flow meter. It is a doctor who usually prescribes the flow rate of the oxygen that you have to deliver to your patient. Now, from here, oxygen is usually delivered from here, and you use another device or an item that we call a nasal cannula for you to deliver oxygen from the flow meter to the patient. How is this usually done? You just take your nasal cannula like this, you'll mount it over there, and then you have your nasal cannula, you just extend it, you press it onto your patient, and these two prongs are meant to get into your nostrils. You press it that way, and then you tighten it on the patient, and then you'll have oxygen getting delivered from the cylinder all the way to your patient. Another concern comes when you open the gas from the cylinder, it is usually on the green ledge. When you've been supplied oxygen through a cylinder, there is that yellow color. Whenever you see that gauge moving towards the yellow point, it's when you are supposed to communicate with your vendor to supply you with another cylinder so that you can replace this one to ensure that your patient is always provided with oxygen. Now, when you have these small sizes of cylinders, these are just meant for a short period of oxygen delivery to your patient. This would be between taking your patient from home to hospital, or maybe from hospital to home, or maybe whereas the patient is at stay at home and maybe power has just gone off. At that point, the oxygen in the cylinders is used like a backup. Now, for long term or patients who need more of oxygen support, it is always advisable for one to use an oxygen concentrator. Now, here also comes a task that have to be done by the doctors. Maybe when you have a patient who needs oxygen, maybe of a flow rate that is between 1 and 4. At that point, you will have a doctor prescribe you an oxygen concentrator that has a flow rate of 0 to a maximum of 5. In any case that your patient needs an oxygen flow rate of above 5, at that point, the doctor will prescribe you that you need an oxygen concentrator which has a flow rate of up to 10. So for this type, we've got two types of oxygen concentrators. That which has a flow rate of 0 to 5, and like this, which has a flow rate of 0 to 10 liters per minute. Depending on the capacity, these oxygen concentrators have got different prices. Before COVID-19, you could get oxygen concentrator on higher basis. Like you place a deposit and maybe you pay some amount monthly. But now, COVID-19 came. None of us was aware of how to tackle the virus. Remember that when you're using the oxygen concentrator, after every 6 months, there is a service that is supposed to be done on the machine. Just like we do an oil change in our vehicles. At that point, there are a number of filters that have to be replaced. There have to be some cleaning through blowing air that has to be done on the same. Then there is a calibration that you have to do to just ensure that the purity of the oxygen that is getting out of your concentrator is above 90% to be of help to your patient. Also remember, an ideal oxygen concentrator should give a purity not less than 93%. At that point, it will be beneficial to a patient. Now, oxygen concentrators are usually of two versions. There are oxygen concentrators that are provided that can only work when they are plugged in to a power supply. So when power goes off, you need an oxygen cylinder for oxygen supply support. There are others that come with a battery. At that point, in any case power runs off, they can run for a number of hours, especially towards 2.5 hours. Depending on the features that an oxygen concentrator is being provided for, the price also varies. I hope this session will be of benefit to you. In any case, you need to know about our product. You can visit our website. It is www.ultramediwaysolutionsltd.co.ke. We have a showroom that is situated along Thika Road at a place called High Point, in a building called High Point Place. In any case you would wish to visit us, just drop us a text and we'll send you a link. You can always find us. You can make a call through 0784 274 574. UltraMediWay Solutions Limited. We are a hub of exceptional products and services. Thank you.